Well, today's an important day. Mr. Malibu and Howard and group here assembled at the Sperber House on Gray Fox because we have our biggest event yet in trying to rally support for giving checks for the cause to the Wetlands Defense Fund for our lawyer. We filed another lawsuit in the appellate court, and we need obviously more financing, more public consciousness. This is a picture of the lagoon in 1922. This actually says 24, and we want to keep them out of here. We want to let it grow back to what it was. As everyone knows, they're going in with bulldozers June 1 unless we stop them. Today we hope to have 150, maybe 200 people. We have auction items. We have a wine bar of my wines that I do, and some great food from PC Green's Market that they've almost practically donated. And so we are going to try to really push this thing over the top today with contributions from locals, people that care about preserving the natural wetlands of Malibu to the extent that they should be, and unmaligned and unmolested by the state's somewhat rash and wanton and ill-thought-out plans to turn this little tidal zone here, which everyone knows is a very quaint area that's grown in with reeds and wild plants, and lots of animals and birds live in there. It's on the southern migratory route. The birds depend on this area, and if they send the bulldozers in, it's going to ruin the place again for an untold number of years.
What was your thought about them bulldozing the lagoon? Does it?
Well, not being a biologist or a politician, I just kind of had to go with my gut instinct. And when I listen to both sides. I don't have any allegiance to people, but I do have a certain allegiance to nature and to animals because they don't necessarily have anybody to protect them. And I've been down to the lagoon many times. I've witnessed it for better or worse. Obviously, it's not pristine, but it's also not a toxic waste dump like the bulldozing people are saying that it is. It's actually very vibrant and lively and full of amazing animals, and the idea of bulldozing it and then replacing it with an artificial version, just common sense tells me that that's not a good idea. And although some of the people involved in the bulldozing project are good people and smart people, I think they really missed the mark on this one. And so I'm siding with the Save the Lagoon big time.
And so I was wondering, do you have any thoughts about what you think would be a good solution, like for everybody concerned? I mean, is that like too big of a...
I think a good solution is for everyone to be open-minded and really give it a moment of due process where you consider both sides of the story rather than just the side that you're fighting for, because really it's a natural spot that isn't looking to be reinvented by humans that don't necessarily know what they're doing. And I think they rushed into it. So let's just take a step back and really discuss what is a good solution, rather than launching forward with a bad idea and being afraid to admit that it was a bad idea.
Yeah, that's I feel so concerned about people's intent to sort of mess with Mother Nature's, the way it's set up.
Yeah.
They came in there in '83 and they created these channels back there, and it's taken almost all that long time to get back to a normal operating wetland kind of thing. So,
as far as I can tell, the toxicity is coming from a sewage plant at the very top of that mountain. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe redirecting our focus to figuring out how to deal with that sewage rather than gutting the natural wetland where animals and birds live, including, as I'm sure you know, lots of endangered species, endangered birds that would just not necessarily make it if we scoop it up and kick it out.
Yeah, this is Pamela Ulich. Pam, are you you're still on the council, right?
For about 5 more weeks.
5 more weeks. And will you be able to have some say in regards to a city position on bulldozing?
Well, I've already had my say, which is I'm against it. And I think I wrote to the governor, and it's time for the rest of the city council to take action. And to wait longer, it would be like the LNG facility. We can continue to study it. It would have been built. So I think I appreciate the approach to study it more, but there's a time to laugh, a time to cry, and there's a time to take action, and it's now. And hopefully they'll come around and do something before it's too late to save Malibu.
I'm so thankful that you have a law degree. It gives you a more background understanding of the dynamics of being able to actually have an impact to stop them What is your perception of how the legal process has been handled?
Well, right now I feel it's at the appeal level, and depending on how the judge looks at the evidence, I know you have battle of the experts. So what's interesting to me is you have scientists on both sides arguing, and hopefully the judge will come down on the side of what's going to protect and preserve Malibu, and not only Malibu, the lagoon, but the animals that live there, and not waste Prop 50 clean drinking water money on a project that has nothing to do with clean drinking water.
And I was curious, is it like taboo to bring up the tapia issue because it's
No.
so political? Or
No,
what
what's
is it?
great about Tapia is I think I have to give Heal the Bay a lot of credit and the other environmental activists, because now Tapia has reduced the number of times they can let out the extra water that comes down the lagoon. So I think that's the one key that everyone can agree on, is that we want Tapia to stop and have zero release eventually. You're looking very charming, and you're doing a great job on your HD news, so thank you for educating the people. When did you start educating? When did you start this?
I started Malibu HD about 3 years ago, and with the intent to bring an increasing consciousness to green initiatives, to socially uplifting and transformational type of things that lift up people and causes. And our trademark is celebrity news that celebrities love. We don't do any trash or paparazzi. We don't cover bad things happening in relationships, but we just cover positive stories.
Well, I think by educating people, you're empowering all of us, so I appreciate your work, and thank you for giving back, and for hopefully you'll have many more years of Malibu HD.
Wow, thank you.
Good luck.
Okay.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts about Pepperdine and Tapia being rerouted out to the valley to water golf courses out there, and then let Mr. Parencio water his golf course with desalinated water from the ocean?
Desalinated water from the ocean. So just turn all the water off. That's Chinatown, isn't it?
It is?
Yeah, I think that I think that there's a really screwy thing going on when they already have a pipe going out to reroute the water from Tapia, and they're not using it right now. There's a deal made, obviously, between the city of Malibu, the guys making this lagoon project, Tapia probably getting to increase their daily loads somewhere down the line. If they keep, they could be selling the water right now, and they're not.
Hello, Richard. What do you feel about an effective way to deal with state parks? Like, I take it you don't like the bulldozing.
No, I just think it's a little overboard. I think that we have such a beautiful ecosystem there. I think we could do some dredging and some things to clean it up and make it better. But to go to an extreme like they are just makes really not much sense to me.
And you're an expert at landscaping, right?
That's what they tell me.
And isn't there something about dealing with plants and wetland type of foliage and plant life that is less invasive than using bulldozers?
No, absolutely. I mean, we do a lot of these projects, and most projects they don't rip out and bulldoze. It's usually it was already ripped out and they want to restore it, and we've already have something that's amazing. It just needs to be cleaned up and dredged and fixed. So I think it's not a very smart approach. I'm not sure how they got to where they got to.
Well, we're really appreciative for your support to stop that extreme measure, and hopefully something more moderate can be worked out.
No, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.